Hello everyone. Today we're going to focus on the next skill in the fractions, decimals, and percents unit, which is tax and tip word problems. So before we get into some problems, let's just review some of the vocab. So as you can see, there's a couple of different words here that you might see in these problems. The first one is a discount. And these would be good to jot down in your notes if you don't have them already. Discount is an amount that is subtracted from the original price. So for example, if you have Kohl's, for example, always has coupons. So let's say you have a 30% off coupon at Kohl's and you want to buy something, that would be considered a discount. It's a 30% discount, which gets subtracted from the original price of the item. Sales tax. Sales tax is an amount that is added to the original price. Now, sales tax is something that goes to the government. So it's a percentage that's added on to the original price that you pay, and it automatically goes directly to the government, whether it's on the state level. Typically, sales tax is a state tax. Tip is what we do when we are in restaurants and we have a server, a waiter or waitress. We typically tip them after we eat our meal because they provided a service. Another word you might see for tip is what's called and I'll write it right here, a gratuity. A gratuity is also another word we use to reference a tip, and that's money that is added to the original price. So the standard really is an 18 or 20% tip or gratuity. So basically what you do is you take your total check amount and you calculate what 20% of the bill is, and then you add it to the bill, and that is money that goes to your server. And then the last one, which we'll get into in the next skill, but we might as well just talk about it, is a commission. Commission is an amount earned based on the original price. So I don't know if you have any parents maybe that work in real estate, or if anybody works in sales. A lot of times they work off commission. And, I'm not sure if you've ever gone to, let's say, like a Verizon store before. Somebody always comes over to you right away and says, can I help you with something? Or they always try to upsell you, like, oh, well, why don't you take a look at these phone cases? Things like that. If you ever gone to like a furniture store with your parents, somebody usually approaches you once you walk into the store because they work on commission, which means if they sell you anything, if you purchase something and they were the salesperson to help you, they're going to earn some money, a percentage of whatever you bought. So that's what a commission is. A lot of times real estate people work off commission. So, they might sell a house and earn a 2.5% commission on that house. So that's what a commission is. So now that we've gone over the vocab, let's look at some of these problems that you might see. So this one says, Mia hired a moving company. The company charged $500 for its service. Mia gives the movers a 16% tip. How much does she tip the movers? So these questions right here are going to be very important. You have to make sure you're understanding what they're asking you for. So in this case, they're asking us how much she tips them. So really all we're trying to do is figure out what is 16% of 500. Now in the last video, we learned a couple of different ways we could solve this. We can either do a proportion, and if you can recall, percent goes over 100. And then we use that is over of trick. I see I have of 500, which means that 500 is my whole. So we're going to put X on top. So you can use the proportion method to solve. Remember, we're finding our cross products first. So that would leave us with 100X equals, and then on our calculators, we can go ahead and multiply 16 times 500, which gives us 8,000. And then our last step is to divide both sides by 100. And that's going to leave me with my answer of X equals $80. So that means that Mia tipped them $80. Now, the other way we can do this is that decimal method that I showed you. Remember, with a decimal, you're going to take your percentage and convert it to a decimal. So if I have 16%, it's understood that my decimal is right here. If I were to scoop two places, that makes it 0.16. Of means multiplication. So we would just multiply 0.16 times 500, and that would also give us $80. And you just have to be careful with these questions because you might see another question similar that says, how much did Mia pay, including the tip? If that's the case, then you've got to take your original amount, which is 500, and then add the gratuity to it, which would mean she would have spent a total of $580. This question's not asking that, it's just asking how much was the tip. So all we had to do was find 16% of 500, and that gave us her tip of $80. Okay, let's go to another one. Tiffany buys a basket of watermelons on sale for $9 before tax. The sales tax is 9%. What is the total price Tiffany pays for the basket of watermelons? So this is an example just like that. First, we need to calculate our tax, and then we need to take that tax and add it to our original price of $9. So we're going to find 9% of $9. Again, you can either do the proportion method or the decimal method. Let's start with the decimal method. If I were to convert 9% to a decimal, that would give me 0.09. And then we're going to multiply that by $9. So on your calculators, go ahead and multiply 0.09 times 9. And that gives us 0.81, which remember we're referring to money. So that means that the sales tax was 81 cents. They're not asking you what the sales tax is. They're asking you what the total price is with the sales tax. So if our original amount was $9 and our sales tax is 81 cents, that means our total amount spent with tax is going to be $9.81. Now again, you could have done the proportion method for this. If you wanted to do the proportion method, you would have done 9 over 100 equals x over 9. And then you would have just followed your proportion steps to get 81 cents as well. Let's try another one. The sales tax in your city is 8.8% and an item costs $63 before tax. How much tax would you pay on that item? Notice it does say round to the nearest hundredth or cent. Just remember with money, we always take it out 2 decimal places. Hence, if you get a decimal that's longer, you need to round it to the hundredths place. So our tax is 8.8%. and the item is $63. So we want to know what 8.8% of $63 is. So I'm going to start with my decimal method. I'm going to scoop 2 places to the left, which is going to leave me with 0.088. Of means multiplication, so we're going to multiply that by 63. So on your calculators, we're going to type in 0.088 times 63, and that gives me 5.544, which we just said money gets rounded to the hundredths place, so that 4 is in my hundredths place. So just a reminder, this number here to the right tells us what to do. 5 and above, we give it a shove. 4 and below, we let it go. So that means our final answer here for the tax would be $5.54. Write that in here. Now it was asking for the tax, so that's our answer. If it had asked what would be the total amount you would pay with tax, then we'd have to take the original cost of the item, which was $63, and add that $5.54. And again, if you had wanted to do this as a proportion, you could have. You would have done 8.8 over 100 equals x over 63, and then followed those steps, which would eventually lead you to the answer of 5.54 or $5.54. Okay. Let's try a different type of problem. This one says Casey buys a bracelet. She pays for the bracelet and pays 72 cents in sales tax. The sales tax rate is 6%. What is the original price of the bracelet before tax? So this one's set up a little bit differently. They're telling you what the tax is, and what the percent is, but we don't know that original amount. We're missing that whole. So there's a couple things we can do. We can think of it this way. We're trying to find 6% of, we don't know that amount, and 6% of that original amount is going to give us our tax of 0.72 or 72 cents. So what do we think we're going to fill in this empty space with? A variable, because we don't know what the value is. So we're trying to find 6% of x. So if I were to write 6% as a decimal, it would be 0.06. We know of means multiplication. So 0.06 times x is just going to give me 0.06x. And how do we get our variable by itself? By doing the inverse operation. So if I'm multiplying by 0.06, now we're going to divide by 0.06. And what we do on one side, we do to the other. So on your calculators, go ahead and divide 0.72 divided by 0.06. And that's going to give us our answer of $12. You can always go back and check it. We're going to find 6% of $12, so 0.06 times 12, and that should give you 72 cents, which it does. So the original price was $12. Now, if you want to use the proportion method for this, you still can. We know our percent is 6, so I'm going to put 6 over 100. Okay. We're missing our whole. That's where our variable is, where the whole is. So that means your variable then would go on the bottom, and then your 0.72, which is your tax, that's your part. Remember, it's part over whole. So we could just set up a proportion like this, and you'll see we will still get the same answer. 6 times x is 6x. 100 times 0.72 is 72. And then when we divide 72 by 6, we also get x equals $12. So two different ways you could have done this one. Let's try another one similar to this. Neil buys a board game. He pays for the board game and pays $1.54 in sales tax. The sales tax rate is 5.5%. What is the original price of the board game before tax? So we know he pays $1.54 in sales tax. That's your part. We know our percent is 5.5%. So I'm going to just set it up as 5.5% of, we don't know the original amount, which is your whole, but we do know that the sales tax was $1.54. Okay, so let's convert 5.5% to a decimal. If I scoop 2 places to the left, that's going to leave me with 0.055. We're going to use x as our whole, so 0.055 times x is going to give us 0.055x equals 1.54. And then to get our variable by itself, we're just going to divide by 0.055. We're going to cancel that there. And now on our calculators, let's go ahead and do that division step. We've got $1.54, 1.54. divided by 0.055, and that leaves us with x equals $28, which again, we can check it. Let's take 28 and multiply it by 0.055, and we should get our tax of $1.54, which I do. So the correct answer here is $28. Again, we could have done this as a proportion. We know our percent is 5.5. That would go over 100. We're missing the whole, which means your variable would go on the bottom, and your tax is your part. That goes on top, part over whole. So we could have set it up just like that, and we would have gotten the same answer of $28 once we did our cross products. Any questions so far? Hopefully not. And then the last one that we're going to do together, it says Caleb bought groceries and paid $1.60 in sales tax. The sales tax rate is 2.5%. What was the price of Caleb's groceries before tax? So we know the tax rate is the tax was $1.60. Our percentage was 2.5%. So essentially we're trying to find 2.5% of what number, we're going to put an X there, equals $1.60. Let's convert 2.5% to a decimal. If I scoop 2 places to the left, I'm going to be left with 0.025. We're multiplying by our whole, which is X equals $1.60. And then to get X by itself, we're dividing by 0.025. What we do to one side, we do to the other. And then on our calculators, let's go ahead and divide $1.60 by 0.025, and that gives us $64. So the amount of Caleb's groceries was $64 before tax. And again, if you wanted to set up a proportion, you would just put 2.5 over 100. The sales tax is our part, which is $1.60, and then our whole is what we're missing. So you would then go and find your cross products, and you would end up with the answer of X equals $64 as well. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions, or email Mr. Labkovsky. And again, if you would like to see some additional examples, you can always watch the video in Khan Academy for this skill. Have a great day, everyone.